Hi everyone, welcome to Battlestar Galactica, and today we are looking at the Monogram Colonial Viper and Cylon Raider model kits issued in Japan in 1981. Now these kits are very unique compared to their US counterparts. First off, they were actually made in Japan by Bandai, and the reason for that was the Japanese government had a very protectionist attitude towards their toy market. So for what I understand, if you wanted to sell a toy in Japan, it actually had to be made in Japan. And this is one of the ways they protected their industry. So Monogram was very, very smart. They teamed up with Bandai. They gave the tooling to Bandai, and Bandai made the kits in Japan to be sold in Japan. So it was a way to get around that rule. The second thing that's very unique is the late copyright date. By 1981, Monogram, who was owned by Mattel, a lot of people don't know that, had kind of dropped the license and moved on from Battlestar Galactica. So this was really the last official Monogram / Mattel product to be produced. So in that regard, it's very cool and it's very, very unique. The other thing that's interesting is that these were not sold with a cello wrap. That's why you'll never find them sealed. They came in an open box, so you could have opened it up if you were in the store at that point, looked at the kit and put the cover back on and, decided to buy it or not. The kits were held in by these heavy cardboard bands. You can see one right here on the Colonial Viper. It's pretty nice and it works pretty well. It holds the kit in place, and it's just something that makes these very, very unique, especially to U.S. collectors. Something very I would say strange about it that gives it a little bit of a different vibe compared to the US kits. Here's the instructions. They're obviously in Japanese. They're basically the US instructions, with the difference being that the Japanese model kits do not feature the missile fire mechanism that was prevalent in the American and European versions of these kits. So that's kind of cool that they're the same kit, but they don't have the missile fire mechanism. Also, the plastic that Bandai used is a little different than the plastic that Monogram used in America. It's a little lighter, I would say, and it also is of a different color. So it's very, very unique in that regard. And the last thing I'll say about these kits is that a warehouse full of them was discovered about 6 years ago. And that is the reason why they're everywhere. They're all over eBay. They're at toy shows. I mean, they're very, very easy to find. And I'm not going to say they're inexpensive, but you could pick up a set of these two particular kits here for probably $100. So they're very, very inexpensive at this point until this warehouse discovery is sold out. And I highly recommend these. Again, Monogram is an amazing company that produces a lot of great stuff. And if you're into model kits, you should add these. The covers on these are unique, totally different than the US cover versions. And if you are a Mattel Battlestar Galactica collector, it's interesting to add these to your collection because they're really basically officially Mattel products, because Mattel at this point still own Monogram, which they did sell, I think, a year after these came out. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you think. And if you happen to have these and maybe you built them, maybe let me know if there is some differences between these and the US versions. Thank you, everyone. Please subscribe. Please let me know you're out there. I always say there are tons of Star Trek and Star Wars channels, and there are very few dedicated to classic Battlestar Galactica. So we all need to stick together. So please subscribe. Please hit that notification bell, and have a great Galactica day, everyone.